Hello everyone, my name is Cap and welcome back to the channel. Another 7 Days to Die video. Doing all this in Alpha 17 Experimental B221 on the PC. And this is going to be an immediate follow-up of the video I did on Friday where I was testing torches like I have in my hand here. And this is the new texture. And whether or not they actually do affect the heat map or not. Now, right after that video came up, I had quite a few people responding saying, hey, by the way, I disagree. In my personal experience, I've seen that it does actually raise the heat map. And I had a lot of discussion with quite a few different people. It transferred over, had a discussion with people on Twitter, and so people were sending me some screenshots showing me varying results to the same test, and had a discussion on the forums about it. And in Alpha 17, torches are supposed to raise the heat map, so there could have been something wrong with the way my test was originally done. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to retest this a little bit differently. I started a brand new world. I haven't done anything with my character. You can see I'm, brand new. I'm actually crafting all the torches this time instead of using creative menu because people thought maybe that was the reason why the test was there. So you see I'm crafting. I got 8 more in queue and I'm going to make a bunch more after this. So what I'm going to do is I have a house here that I've cleared out. And you can see the heat over on the left side, which I'm going to try to remember to blow it up in the video so it's easier for you guys to see. It's at 0.1% basically, and it's because I had to go in and kill a zombie and I made some noise while I was in there. It'll go down a little bit on its own. But so what I'm going to be doing is while I'm crafting these and placing these torches, and also after I do this house, I'm going to go down the road and build a little platform and punch a bunch of them there. And then I'm going to just sit here and wait. And I'm going to let it just run for a while in game. 20, 30 minutes, I'm going to go watch TV or something while it's running and see if the heat does actually go up. And then I'm going to try to test the other side of this of whether or not torches will attract screamers or not. And while I'm doing all this, I just wanted to have a quick discussion with you guys. And I've mentioned it before, but the channel's grown a lot since I mentioned it last, and I want to make sure to cover it again. And that is, I'm not an expert in the game. I've never ever claimed to be an expert in this game. I'm just a gamer like the rest of you guys. I have just a bit of a scientific mind. And so that is how everything kind of started with my channel. And that's how most of the tests have become a thing on my channel, is somebody saying, hey Cap, I heard the game is supposed to do this. Can you test if it actually does or not? So I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. And so that's where a lot of the tests that I've done have come through over the years of me doing this channel, is people just suggesting, saying, hey Cap, the game says it's supposed to do this, and the XML file says it's supposed to do this, but can you test if it actually does? And that's where we've had some really interesting results on my channel, is that a lot of times things don't work like they're supposed to. And so that's where we end up with getting varying results. And I'm going to put torches inside and out just in case there's some bugs. Some people had mentioned maybe it's because I was doing them all on the outside last time, so I'll put some on both places, get a little bit of frame drop while I'm doing that, but it's okay. And so, that's the thing I want to make sure is clear, is I'm not an expert in the game. I definitely don't claim to be. I do the best I can with my testing. Anytime somebody provides a idea for me, I always try and research it the best I can. I look at the XML files, I read up on things about the game, the concept of what it's supposed to do. I look at what the game says it's supposed to do inside the game itself to see if it's actually working right. And then I'll go through and I'll do all the different tests the best way that I possibly can. And sometimes those tests involve, wonky ways of doing it that people will point out, oh, you didn't do this right, you didn't do that right. And that's fine. If I do something in a test and it's wrong, if I get results and it's wrong, I'll happily admit it. I'm not an expert in the game. I don't work for the company. I don't have some sort of inside knowledge. I just try to go about the Mythbusters approach. I have a hypothesis, the way something's supposed to work. I look at all the information and the data based on that, and then I try to replicate it or, debunk the actual results. And that's all I do. I know that there's people in the community that don't like me. I know of specific people that just do not like me and think I'm bad for the community, and that's totally fine. Not everybody's going to like you in life. I'm okay with that. But there's enough people that do like the kind of content I put out and find it to be educational and helpful, and so I'm totally fine with that. But if I do something wrong, if the test doesn't result in the information correctly, like what the torches did, I had so many people saying, no, you're absolutely wrong here, Devs. Most of the people had really good dialogue with me. Most of the people were awesome. They were like, hey Cap, here's what I found, and maybe you should retest it with this kind of thing and see if we do this, because this are the results I'm getting. And I will happily retest with that sort of things and say that, hey, maybe I did it wrong. And I'm absolutely okay with doing that. And I think that's enough torches for now. Let me see how many total torches we got. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 outside, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 torches. Okay, you know what? Just for easy of math here. Okay, 20 torches. That's going to be quite a bit. I mean, if you light up most of your house and outside with 20 torches on a normal thing. So we're just going to leave this one here for a while. We're going to disappear, go to a completely different chunk down the road, and we're going to put a bunch of other torches down here, and then check it out and see if it does the same thing. But while I'm doing this, like I said, I just want people to know that, I'm doing the best I can to try and help out with the community. I'm not trying to, I've had people say, oh, you only upload videos just for the views. You don't actually care about this. You're ruining the game. I've heard lots of different things, and it's fine. If people want to think that, that's fine. Like I said, I'm not going to try and persuade everybody to like me, but know that I do put forth the effort. Sometimes people will say stuff like, oh, well, if you put forth any effort at all and looked at the XML files, it'll say this. Again, just because it says it does something in the XML files doesn't mean that's how it works in the actual game itself. And that's what I've done a lot of testing in. It's like, okay, so it says in the XML files that zombies say that they're going to pathfind, do this as a priority over this, but then I do a test video and show, no, that's not the case at all. They don't do this. Let me see, is that all the torches? Okay, so we got, what, 4, 8, 11 torches right over here. Completely different chunk. You see right now it's 0% because just placing torches doesn't raise the heat map. So we're going to let both of these just kind of fester for a little while. I'm going to check back in later in the day and see if they did actually go up. And then we're going to check, of course, to see if they will spawn in screamers. Because I know people have said, hey, every time I put a bunch of torches, it spawns a bunch of screamers. And I'm definitely not saying, no, you're wrong, I'm right. This is going to be one of those, I'm going to test the best I possibly can to see if I can get the same results or not. If I can't, it doesn't mean, hey, you're wrong, I'm right. It just means that my testing, I couldn't get the results to do that sort of thing. So, again, I'm sorry to anybody out there that I've ever offended by not testing something properly, or, oh, I don't represent the community properly because I did such and such there. It happens. And, anytime I'm ever wrong in a video, I'll always admit it, and I'll update the video description in the video to the correct information. But, I do the best I can to try and help out, and if I've inspired you to go into the game to try and test it in a better way, then, I consider that to be a win. So, real quick, we're just going to let this sit here. I'm going to go ahead and check real quick to see if there's anything out there. Alright, so we got a bunch of regular zombies. Looks like a wandering horde. I can hear them over there. There's a reason why that. I can see Sylvia poking her head up over there. So, we're just going to kind of chill. Okay, so I'm not really that visible. Oh, they're jumping around again doing their little athletic stuff. So I'm going to go in the house and just kind of hide a little bit to see if, make sure they can't see me. And I'm just going to hang out here and wait for the heat map thing to go up. I'm going to test it again in here just a little bit. I am seeing a bunch of frame drops here, which is uncommon for me running on the game. So that's definitely something that's not kind of cool. But we're going to hang out here for a little bit. We'll check back in later on in today and see what we can see. Alright then, we have the results to counter what I showed in the last video. As you can see, I'm right above the house. Now I'm flying here just because it makes moving around a little bit easier. But as you can see with the 20 torches I have running here, it's at 81% heat. And it's gone up a little bit. And the main reason why is because the one I have down here has also gone up a little bit. Since there's not as many torches here, it's at 40.5% so far. But these two chunks are kind of close to each other, and if you remember in my heat map video I did a while ago, the heat propagates from one chunk to another, so they kind of overlap, and so you end up with a bunch here. It started off at like 36 and it jumped up into the 40s, and it was set at 71 for a while until that one kicked in. And so you can see both of these chunks are generating heat, and at 81% you can see it's at red right now. When it hits 100 is when it will automatically roll back over to 0, and that's when it spawns a screamer in. So with 20 torches, it's definitely climbing up there. And right at the moment, I've been watching to see, and right at the moment, there's not anything spawned in over here. We had that one wandering horde came in. I got rid of them. But other than that, we haven't had any screamers in yet. But that doesn't mean that they won't show up. But just to show that I was wrong in the last video, yes, torches do actually raise the heat map up quite a bit. And if you look at the XML file on there, which I'm not going to put on the screen because it'd be pointless and stuff right now, the heat map strength of torches is 4.05, which is the same as the burning barrels, which in Alpha 16, those didn't work in the heat either. But in Alpha 17, apparently they do. We're climbing up on the nighttime here, so I'm not going to stay outside too terribly long. I'm going to let these kind of run, but I'm going to sit here overnight to see if either one of these will force a screamer to spawn in by themselves. I'll be watching the LE command on there because you can see when things appear by this way. You can see if there's anything out there. Right now, it's still just me. Now, nighttime, of course, you got the feral zombies, and they show up a little bit more hordes and stuff. But at least for the initial test, yes, torches do raise the heat map by a considerable amount. It just takes a while. So there you have it. So we'll just kind of hang out and see if some screamers actually show up to confirm the next part of this. So we'll just we'll check back in maybe by morning, or I'll watch the LE command and see if any other entities show up. In the meantime, I'm going to hide up here just so I don't get mowed down by any kind of issues. I do have the mining helmet, and yeah, that makes the visibility meter go way up, of course, but we'll stay hidden tonight and see what shows up next. Okay, as you can see right now, which according to the LE that's up here, there is a screamer in my house. I'll turn the light on. You can see her. She's right over there. So she's definitely not happy. She's coming towards me here. That's definitely creepy here. So for the notion of, let's see if there's any more out here. Zombie screamer. Okay, so there's another one somewhere around here. So the heat never went over 100. You can see it actually reset just a little bit here, back down to 52%. But it did spawn in a screamer, actually more than one, without even going over 100. The normal... Yeah, I'm using the admin gun here because it's just proving, you know, concept of whether or not it actually works or not. Turn my little, there's the other screamer. You creepy, creepy girl. Oh, good Lord. So, yes, it is confirmed that torches will raise the heat enough to spawn a screamer on their own without even going over 100. That's really, really, really creepy for sure. So, if you're going to use a bunch of torches in your house, just know that it's going to raise the heat up a little bit and that you will have a chance to get a screamer to spawn in. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean they know where you are. I mean, she walked in the house and wandered over to the corner. She had a general idea of where I was at in this chunk because she came into this house where all the heat is at. But she didn't see me specifically. So, yeah, you can definitely hide. But be prepared to defend yourself. And if she sees you and screams, she'll call in all of her buddies. Alright, so it's morning time right now. The chunk it's still sitting at 60.75%. It's still bright as balls in here. Turn off my mining helmet. Let's go down here and see what this one's at. See where it dissipated. Having let it sit here all night long. Let's see. So this one is sitting at 85. So this one kept climbing all the way up too as that one went down. So, trying to figure out how much they'll actually dissipate over time, you know, because if you're going to leave them up there, they're going to keep running. It'll continue to generate heat. It's not going to go down just to zero and eventually stop generating heat altogether. So, there you have it. If you want to use torches in your house, the heat map will go up and zombie screamers will spawn in. So, there we go. I apologize for having the information wrong in the first video. Hopefully you guys will forgive me for that and, you know, present you with the correct information here. And if you have any questions or if there was things I did wrong in this one that you'd like to see me correct or whatever, definitely let me know. And we have that conversation down below in the comment section like always. If you found the video useful, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button down below. And be sure to subscribe if you're not already so you don't miss out on future videos. Thank you guys truly so much for all the support and the conversations over the years. You guys are awesome. You have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later.